You probably have no idea of how popular Sonic is in Brazil. Sonic's popularity in Brazil is bigger than his popularity in North America and goes beyond what many fans imagine. From an unplanned incident where Shadow suddenly attacked the mascot of the country's most popular TV show, to fan films that rival Paramount's own productions, Sonic's presence in Brazil is as vibrant as it is unexpected. This is Mr. Fascinating, and today we will dive deeper than ever into understanding why Sonic makes no sense in Brazil. Our journey begins with a cautionary tale that has achieved legendary status in Brazil. If you ever speak to a Brazilian and wonder why he starts laughing so much when you mention the Dreamcast, well, there is a reason. In the early 2000s, the Dreamcast was making waves globally thanks to its online functions and great games. But in Brazil, the Dreamcast is remembered for something far more unusual. Meet Leonam, a Brazilian who finally got a Dreamcast for his birthday after over a year of asking for it from his parents. One day, home alone, he decided to indulge in some personal time, if you know what that means. But as he reached the point of no return, disaster struck. In a moment of panic, Leonam turned away from his computer to avoid making a mess on his keyboard or monitor. Unfortunately, his open Dreamcast was sitting right beside him. And in a split second, the unthinkable happened. Leonam creamed directly into his Dreamcast. The console was ruined. Desperate, Leonam turned to a Brazilian forum for help, detailing his embarrassing mishap. The responses? His mother later discovered the damage when she took it for repairs, only to be told the warranty was void due to the mysterious white substance inside. Leonam eventually confessed to his father, who laughed uncontrollably, but the humiliation didn't stop there. Because of this, his parents gave him the talk in front of his entire family, including his aunts and grandmother. The story quickly spread through Leonam's neighborhood, and of course, it had already become a meme online. The story of Leonam was retold and reposted countless times, and when the internet became mainstream, so did Leonam's unfortunate tale. Nowadays, Leonam's story is almost more famous than the Dreamcast itself in Brazil. It makes no sense for an entire gaming console to be remembered for an absurd story like this. But well, that is just how Brazil is. Having transitioned to the age of mainstream internet, we encounter the curious case of Eggman's announcement in Portuguese. Of course, the original became a viral sensation in English, but the Brazilian Sonic community crafted their own version. In this iteration, Eggman's rant about Shadow pissing on his wife is dubbed over with the voice of his official actor in Brazil, thanks to the power of AI.
Eu vim fazer anúncio. Shadow Ouriço é filho da puta do caralho.
The script was localized with many Brazilian slangs, even swapping the Obama mention for Lula, dunking on the president that has sparked controversies due to the inflation and taxations in his current government.
Você gostou disso, Lula? Eu mijei na lua. Faz o L agora.
Eggman rebelliously tells Lula to do the L, an ironic slang Brazilians use all the time, mocking the president's name. This version of Eggman's announcement shows that not only does Brazil create Sonic memes that never reach the American audience, but even the American ones are imported and adapted, making it the country with the most amount of Sonic memes in the world. And we're not even talking about how one of the biggest Sonic memes ever globally is a big homage to Latin America and Brazilian culture, specifically their women. One of the most widespread bizarre memes to ever emerge from the American Sonic fandom is Shadow the Hedgehog likes Latinas. What started as an ironic internet joke quickly evolved into a full-blown phenomenon. And of course, Brazilian fans embraced it. It all began with a few edits and animations involving Shadow's admiration for all Latinas. And while it may sound like random internet silliness, things escalated fast. In 2024, the meme gained full force, as fan art flooded the internet pairing Shadow with Brazilian Hatsune Miku, a meme version of the Vocaloid imagined as a fiery, samba-loving Latina. The internet couldn't get enough of it. It wasn't just viral, it was romantic. Oddly enough, it went much further than people expected, as Paramount itself paid homage to the meme in Sonic Movie 3. It has been confirmed in interviews that the comedic scenes with Shadow watching a Mexican novela were truly a reference to Shadow's love of Latinas. This rapid adoption and officialization makes it a huge landmark in Sonic meme history. But of course, there are memes that don't go global. Memes that only a real Brazilian could truly comprehend and appreciate. And that's because these Sonic memes in Brazil are a language of their own. Scroll through Twitter or WhatsApp groups, and you'll eventually stumble upon a simple PNG render of Sonic in an empty background, sometimes blurry, sometimes eerily clean. But the real magic is in the captions. Passive-aggressive, flirty, or downright hostile. No punchline, no setup. just raw, concentrated attitude, used as reactions and dunks between friends and enemies. Imagine Sonic staring blankly at you with captions like, "Okay, shut up now." Or if your profile picture is an anime avatar, your opinion doesn't count. This is meme minimalism at its peak. There are also softer takes, like the infamous feeling like kissing someone, but I won't say it's you, over a deadpan Sonic image. Or, "Caraca, man, correr pelado e de tênis é mó legal, eu fico parecendo o Sonic." Which means, "Damn man, running naked with sneakers is so fun. I feel like I'm Sonic." This meme format is Brazil's digital graffiti. Strange, beautiful, and deeply expressive. Sonic isn't just a character here, he's a vessel for whatever chaotic energy the internet decides to channel that day. And then there's the day Sonic took over Brazil's most sacred morning institution, Mais Você, hosted by Ana Maria Braga. For context, this isn't a niche program. It's one of Brazil's longest running and most watched morning TV shows. Maybe the most watched ever. It's where people tune in for cooking tips, pet advice, celebrity interviews, and life lessons from a talking parrot named Louro José. So imagine the shock when, during a Paramount promo for Sonic 3, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow stormed the stage of Mais Você in full costume. At first, the promotion was calm, peaceful, and very cute. Ana Maria was describing the film and hyping it up. But then, things went out of control. In a completely unscripted and chaotic moment, Louro José, dressed as Shadow, was promptly attacked by the actual Shadow. The actors of the other characters didn't expect this. Ana Maria didn't expect this. Louro José especially didn't. And viewers were stunned. Social media exploded as Louro José started saying, "It's Shadow, Ana Maria, it's Shadow," in reference to the AO Shadow Cara meme we discussed in the previous video. Ana Maria Braga, ever the professional, played along and encouraged viewers across Brazil to go see Sonic 3 in theaters. It worked. The segment aired nationwide, generating buzz that reached far beyond Sonic fans. Not only did it reach the TV audience, but the unscripted moment went truly viral on social media, making people of all ages now aware and hyped for the film. Suddenly, Sonic 3 was not just a movie, it was a national event. So, if you think someone in a Shadow costume attacking a parrot in a Shadow costume on national television doesn't make sense, think again, because this is Brazil. And in Brazil, it just makes sense to make no sense. Not only that, but it also makes sense to speak up to make things better, to demand changes that seem impossible, or at least would seem impossible for anyone that is not Brazilian. This next story proves just how far that energy goes. When the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 dropped in Brazil, the reaction was massive. Fans were excited, emotional, but also confused. Because when Shadow spoke, it wasn't the voice they remembered. Paramount had cast a new voice actor, the actor that dubs Keanu Reeves in Brazil. An accomplished one, yes, but not the voice. Not the one Brazilians had grown up with during Sonic X and other iconic moments in Shadow's history. That voice belonged to Reginaldo Primo. What followed was an outpouring of passion. Comments started being made, changes started being requested. Fans shared nostalgic clips of Reginaldo's Shadow. Stoic, intense, emotionally complex. It wasn't just about voice acting, it was about identity. And Paramount listened. In a rare and heartwarming move, the studio recast Shadow's voice for the Brazilian dub, bringing back Reginaldo Primo. It was a major win for the fans, and a reminder that the Brazilian Sonic community isn't just loud, it's powerful. And what made the moment even more poetic is that Reginaldo himself is a longtime fan of Shadow, deeply connected to the character he plays. The movie suddenly felt less like a global blockbuster, and more like something the country had a hand in making. To add one more layer of Brazilianness to the entire saga, Sonic himself is voiced by Manolo Rey, the same man who voiced Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and a proud supporter of Botafogo, Brazil's most legendary, biggest, greatest soccer team. Of course, you may read some comments below questioning Botafogo's status, but don't let these fans of inferior teams fool you. They just can't cope with feeling the little smell of Botafogo's superiority or not having a mundial. And now, the climax of it all. A fan film so polished, so emotionally resonant, that it feels less like a tribute and more like canon. Directed by João Felipe Santiago, Project Shadow is a Brazilian-made short film that retells Shadow's origin story, his bond with Maria, the tragedy aboard the Ark, and the pain that forged his identity. The attention to detail is staggering, from the physics-defying speed shots to the heartbreaking expressions during the film's emotional climax. It captures what makes Shadow Shadow, not just his edge, but his heart. Ayala Mariana's Maria isn't just a plot device here, she's real. Her relationship with Shadow is warm, tender, and tragically short-lived. Adriano Lima's Gerald Robotnik isn't a mad scientist, he's a grieving grandfather. And Shadow isn't just an anti-hero, he's a victim of war, loss, and misplaced vengeance. It's a story told with maturity, respect, and love. I'd argue that the origin portrayed is just as great as the one we received in the third film, and maybe, just maybe, it's better. One thing is for certain, it is more faithful, as Maria and Shadow actually live in space here. The fan film even includes professional Brazilian voice actors, including Bruno Sangregorio, whose performance as Shadow is nothing short of stellar. And yes, even Mike Pollock, the official English voice of Dr. Eggman, makes a mysterious appearance. Project Shadow is more than a fan film. It's proof that Sonic's legacy in Brazil isn't just memes or jokes. It's real, deep appreciation, art, passion, and sometimes it's better than the real thing. That's why Sonic in Brazil doesn't make any sense, because no other country would take a piece of media and redefine it in not only satirical, but also emotional, sincere, genuine ways at the same time. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful. Click the video on screen before it disappears, and be surprised by how much deeper and stranger Brazil's love for Sonic actually goes.